Ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest privilege and honor to introduce Dr. Miki Bong, and she'll be, what happened to your screen? Okay. She'll be presenting the paper on facilitating or impeding about mobile devices, and this is something that we really need to seriously consider. Now, Dr. Bong's specialty is in area of second language acquisition, so using mobile devices will be a very interesting subject for you. Now, here I give you the one and only Dr. Miki Bong.
Hello. Oh, God. Can you hear me there? Thank you. Then I can talk to you without my microphone so that I can move around here. First of all, I must thank you for Professor Im Byung-min. He's not here. He's gone somewhere to invite me here. And I mean, I teach English to the students sometimes, not always. So, I like to have my presentation. It's not, I don't talk as a presentation, very communicative way. So, hey Siri, can you set the timer for 30 minutes, please? Okay, 30 minutes counting. 30 minutes later, we'll hear the beep so that I can tell you where I am now. Okay, can you raise your hand if you have listened to the wireless this morning? Oh, a wireless meaning it's radio. That's for people who are from Europe, right? Then you must know. Oh, that's British. So British people say radio. Okay, those students are right over there. Are you our Generation X or Generation Z? Okay, let me look at you guys. Have a look. Wireless is a radio. We used to call it wireless. There's no wires. So radio, sitting. But I'm not experienced in that age groups. So I'm trying, because this is the presentation, it's about the conference, about the media. But actually, what I'm going to say today is trying to communicate. So are you probably people sitting right here will be the English teachers. Do you teach English at school or university? Raise your hand, please. Communicative, okay? So that I can say, hey, thank you. That's very nice. And I set the timer. I was talking with my machine. It's a mobile device, and I'm talking to you. We need to communicate. So, do you teach communicative English? That's very good. So, do you use personal computers? Sometimes? Okay. Now, the image, do you use video clips? Media. Like yesterday, the presentation, there were so many video clips, the teachers spending hours preparing for that clip. You know, you have to go editing, you have to upload it, and tagging, and those things. All these troubles go through using video clips. Do you use video clips in your communication classes? Wrong! Wrong! Don't spend too much time on that one anymore. You are going to teach students on not like us. Ooh, we are not, we are different. Okay. Students, those sitting there, when were you born? You were born in after 2000. Raise your hand. Come on, students. So, okay, they are not very active. You cannot, okay, the teachers. Do you teach students who are born in after 2000? Come on, you don't teach any? No, the university students. My students, like second year, third year students are born in 2000. Good. Okay. So when you use, I was talking about the media and all of the generations and blah blah. I show you my pictures like that. And if I show the picture, you're teaching only their visual communication skills, non-verbal communication skills. I showed my picture, it's really, really nice. Look at me, like, you know, like professor like that. If I show the next picture, that was actually like when I give them students instructions how to study this course, after showing that picture, I don't have to say anything. They are not listening to me. And I say, you shouldn't be late, you know, meet the deadline, you know, all those things, they are not listening. They shut the door, shut the ear completely. That only picture. So a lot of, I know the topic I shouldn't go for, they're using media, but I do recommend using media properly. At the end of the, not the lesson, sorry. At the end of my talk, you will go with something, okay? So don't use that. I'm going to say, so communication skills sort of thing, blah, 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 and oops. So many letters. I give them students doing it like this. Before I give, okay, millennials. I just give one word and I'm starting special. Does anybody know what the millennials? Come on, communicative. We have to, because it's content. When you do the research, it's one word. My argument is X and X. I need to provide evidence and provide that my idea is better than others. So all I'm talking about is, okay, the millennials. If you think it's your millennials, raise your hand. Whoa, oh, really? Are you sure? Okay, the millennials. I will give you an idea. Think. So make you think is the most important thing. That machine can't do. Thinking skill is the only thing. Another thing that we can use, the millennials are blah 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 here. It's up to mid 1990s. Okay, if you are born in 1980s, no longer millennials. For the millennials, we teachers probably have been teaching the millennials, right? So the students, so Smart professor developed those PC platform, PC-based, we call it CALL, computer-assisted language teaching or language learning, CALL or CALT. System developed to make students study, not communicate. Emphasis in here. One more time, millennial students are, the teachers who teach millennials are basically baby boomers. The baby boomers after the war, 1964. In Japan, we say like there's 1964 is the year that is, okay, that year which was Tokyo Olympic was held, and 2020 will be held another one. So, but baby boomers is, I use the term in generally as baby boomers and after the war, up to 1964. So let me look at you. You're going before that. That is the people you have been teaching students and millennials. So developing PC based like learning, typing, clicking, and using a lot of video clips. But in fact, video clip is actually disturbing. Students are like not learning communication skills, non-verbal language skills, of course, but non-verbal is the language skills. Then, how about what happened now? What I'm talking about is, we call it I generation. I talked about the millennials. Okay? So, those whole students, there are only 2-3 students who are raising hand. There must be, we call it smartphone generation. Okay, raise your hand if you don't have a smartphone. Oh, even the millennials, and okay, you said millennials, right? Baby boomers. Oh, the baby boomers are looking at their smartphone right now, there. That exactly what happens is now we call it smart generation, Generation Z. Not the, we have a car for Jetto. So in Japanese people say Jetto. Okay, so for Generation Z, people say X, Y, Y, Z goes. So, generation, we call I generation. So those who students have a last 3 decades. Although those students actually we have to be ready for the next generation. You mentioned about the next generation. Which generation you're talking about? So not the baby boomers, but the next generations, another generation comes. This we call smartphone generations. But in fact, the smartphone generation is born with the smartphone actually. But similarly, 1994 is the year, but 1985 was mentioning about the millennials when the computer, people talk about Apple. Apple was actually started in 1975, blah, blah, blah. But anyhow, so we are at the stage of now I generations. You're going to teach all the I generations. With high school teachers, the students always play with their smartphones. Even the video game used to have video games, but no, they don't like to go sit at the desk and look at the computer. No, they just carry it. Like me, I just set my timer. Hey Siri, what's the weather like today? Oh, it was off. So, calling content programs, everybody knows. This one is actually developed to help a student to learn by themselves, automatic learning. If they don't use it, the developers are the ones who developed it, and you have developed as well, and they're trying to change their platform so their smartphone active. But in fact, there's still always a gap. So the code is like assessing or make it interactive and blah. Those things are not really. Now we say it's not, we don't call it computer anymore. We call it, come on! AI. I didn't give you that. I'm not going to give you that. So it's like, when I'm talking about the contents, you have to listen to me, not looking at the pictures. If I give you like a robot, then they just don't think about anything. The robot is pictures coming up, so the language will go somewhere else. The one picnics, and I have to go, with the empty, sort of like the shells only. And you are always like, as soon as you touch your smartphone, meaning your brain, you are communicating with that thing. Not with me now. Okay, that's written there. So now, people are talking about, Mark has been working on from PC to trying to shift it to the mobile devices, and my co-researcher, Professor Dr. John, and me, we did some research about how the students are interacting or how they feel about the working with the machines. But that was my introductory course. I'm talking about program AI and English education, mobile apps. Mobile apps is an AI. People talk about AI, it's like what was the Terminator. Okay, when I ask the students about the AI, the Star Trek, Star Wars. If you know, raise your hand. Those students who are with the I generations and the Star Wars. Oh, you believe yourself is not I generation. Star Trek? No? Okay, now Harry Potter generation. We say Harry Potter. Magic Wanda. Okay, keep hands up. No, when we're talking about the generation, come on. Don't go anywhere. Anyhow, you have to sit here with me for an hour. So make just work with me. So it's when you go at English education with I generation students, what are you gonna do? They have their own private teachers. That's what I'm saying. Make use of those teachers. That's my argument later. That's what are we gonna do about I generations. Not the first language I'm talking about, we're talking about secondary or third. I can speak many languages, but still. Okay. What I'm going to look at is communication preferences from baby boomers and Generation X and millennials. So you ask yourself, what kind of communication do you like? Do you like to talk to your friends in person? Yes? No? She doesn't? Yes? You go there. That's what happens. Baby boomers actually, they write letters. Okay? The written communications of like letters. But when generation goes, you like telephone communications.
Sorry.
That's you're saying, oh, you've been teaching millennials, and the baby boomers teaching millennials, and the rest of tech advance. The teacher's mind, that's good, that's good. Generation X?
No. Millennials.
No, you're millennials and Generation X are here, sitting right next to you. Then those people like to communicate. In Europe, they developed the SMS, right? In Japan, we had developed the I mode for the generations. Well, what I'm saying is message getting shorter and shorter. And the personality goes, they like the instant message, instant reply. When you lie, in Japan we use line, in Korean people use kakao. WhatsApp in Europe. And I'm talking, and when I'm, what's that? Yeah, see? Those small, so you're just bridging. We are, teachers has to bridge all these generations. Depending on the students, you have to understand those written. So when I'm teaching written skills, reading skills, and I just ask them to put first a line, a title, and then talk to them. And that's what he's talking about. In the 1960s, they like communication skills, different styles, by generation by generation. When we are doing it, how about I generations? I really need students to react to me. Do you like to talk to the people? Telephone? No? Do you like it? Do you like sending messages? I can't hear you. Yes? Messages?
Yes.
Do you like to talk to people in person?
Yes.
Oh, you sure? Yes, I approve that I must have overgeneralized.
No, you didn't. They do messaging, they do cacao like 1,000 times before lunch.
Exactly. That's another way of doing the communication skills.
And of course, they talk to people face to face as well.
Face to face as well, but sometimes they're sitting right and like across here, they're sending messages together. Do you want to go out now? Right? You do that. Exactly. What happens is don't bother. I'm just sending it. I'm saying okay, and I'm sending a sticker. Okay, like that sign or those signs. Go. Let's go. And blow up. So how the changes of the mode of the communications. They don't mind asking their machines to go. They always Google it. Machines all the time. They do communicate, but its problem is getting shorter. So where is the problem is fast reading skills and the writing skills. They're always relying on this English, even English people, English native speakers, they use the LOL. What is the LOL? See? Okay, discuss. Come on, don't worry asleep. It's an hour. So we talk about the current issues and the media using it, but use it in the right way, and that's it. We have to look at this from pedagogical perspective. So the students, we have to understand the students, learners. But the old programs developed and their teaching approaches, teachers' perspective. Then how about first language has been affected already? They don't write, they don't finish the sentences, and they just are using the abbreviations or some we call it emoji. Emoji, right? Do you call it emoji too? That's in Japanese, you know that? See, I mean, your first language has been deteriorated already. So especially writing skills and reading skills. But that is actually to go back to the linking skills original language. And I'm saying that actually when it goes to the second language, we have to use the AI properly. And if you just let them do whatever they like to do, then we can't control, we can't improve there. Okay, here I'm asking questions. What is the goal or main purpose of English education? Okay, Matt gave talk, so can I ask? You are not English teacher. If you're learning an English, that's why I'm asking you. If you learn an English as a secondary, what would be your goal?
Too complicated because it was so difficult back then and we had no use for English and I didn't know why I learned English.
Oh.
Now I need it for my work.
You more work that you have to learn, okay?
Half of my colleagues are foreigners, they don't speak Estonian, so...
You're from Estonia. Yeah, I had a good friend from Estonia. She's good, perfect English, so okay. Not a native speaker. What do you think? Teachers, I should ask the teachers. The students, what is the main purpose of learning English now? No answer? To speak English well. Thank you. That's very good. Yes. Speak, meaning actually communicating. If you're at school, if you're student testing, anything goes with testing, they hate it. But just have fun with it. That's why you're using videos and using games or the flickers and the reading skills, LT reading skills. It's very difficult. But let me. Do you know Ishiguro Kazuo? He won the Nobel Prize literature. Hang on, I'll read it. It seems increasingly likely that I really will undertake the expedition that has been preoccupying my imagination now for some days. For Ishiguro's original text. Can you translate? Come on. In your language, you try with your own language, and the Korean students, come on, translate. If I give them a homework to translate, that's Japanese, which is the CSR, did translate beautifully. I gave you one example of Korean one. Have a look. 요 며칠 사이에 나의 상상을 들어온 그 여행을 정말 감행하게 될 가능성이 높아지고 있는 것 같다. Good? Do you think that translation is good?
Pronunciation is better.
Thank you. No, I thought it was making big. Okay, I was going to criticize this translation, but if you say it's good, okay, then I won't say anything anymore. Then I'll go to the second sections. Now, if I ask a student to give a homework and do the first section of the Ishiguro's work and read it at home, and we can discuss it in class, the reading skill, what do you think they will do, students? Yes, they do the Google Translator. They use Google Translator. What happens is they read with machine. That's already using it. Then have a look. This is a Google Translator, but if you are not Japanese, so I'll give you Korean one. 요 며칠 동안 나의 상상력을 점검한 원정대를 실제로 접수할 가능성이 점점 커지고 있습니다. How does it sound like?
It sounds like actually a subtitle. If you watch a foreign movie, then there's like a subtitle of the movie where they directly translated, not consider the background of the culture. But I mean, meaning-wise, there's no problem.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Meaning-wise, because it's but. This is what the Korean one, Japanese one is really. I mean, Japanese one is almost perfect. The Korean is still developing. Probably Google, they don't use Google much. Probably you have your own translator, the machines. So if there's some diligent students, they just Google it and they read the Korean sentence and changing it a couple of words. Sometimes they will, you change it a little bit. Sanjamhan is a little bit more like very direct translated. If you change it, and this ending, 있습니다, it's far better than the Mr. Song's translations. It's culturally, in fact, when Ishiguro wrote the letter, wrote the book, it's about the butler. If you have read the book, The Remains of the Day, and it's a way of his saying English, it's very formal. But Korean translator ripping up all those aspects, translated into the simple form 있다, 없다. So it rips off his means Ishiguro's culturally very creativity was just disappeared. So I was reading Korean translation version, looked like a different book. Oh, I shouldn't say Song would be furious because I have a copy and I have underlined it, and this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense at all. And for Japanese, always it's very formal word they use it. So it's very well translated, but the machine actually gave a better translation than the Korean translator. So what we're gonna do, what I'm saying is reading with a machine translator. You can't control, you have to control when you think about the student need to improve the listening skills, writing skills, or reading skills, you have to control them whenever you give the assignment. You're teaching at an institution. That's where my point is. The machine translator is developing so rapidly. It's really good, and I've been using it. So when I'm giving my students, I never give a homework like translating or even the summarizing skill. The machine does the summarizing. Amazing, you wouldn't believe. So it's trying to compare the human machines and trying, and I think it's what I'm just so far said was the Korean translation, machine translation is far better in a way about the formal way. Because depending on the work. But the point is, first language, what is written well, the language translated, the original text is written well, then the translator does the better job. So everyone is actually the problem. I think thinking skill when they are writing, when they are using the writing format, the logically formed one. So that's what I'm saying. So critical thinking skill and the writing and thinking skill is most important. The reading education will be different. So you have to think about all these things and the writing as well. If you ask students to write and the machine does far better job, then it's quite difficult to say. Sorry, I mean, I thought it was not this big, but that's all machine translated. If you give them all those 4 texts, then you can't mark it. Better than the Ishiguro's work and the other. I translate the Japanese version into English again. For the past few days, it seems that the trips that I could not get out of my head gradually become real. That's better than if you translate it. This is from Japanese to English. Because if you give the students the composition homework, they do like great job. You're not judging their skills, you're assessing machine skills. So be ready for if you're teaching English at school or university, be ready, students. I know you've been already experienced. So what I'm talking about is all bad, all bad, all bad, bad. No, it's not true. Of course you have to, if you want to incorporate well, then you can improve students' English communication skills. That's what I'm going to say. Today's argument is like that. I'm just criticizing all these things. It's not like that. Of course, that's in the past, and my machine is actually not responding. Okay, now, what does it mean to spoken skills? Dr. Zhang and we did a lot of experiments with the students, with the millennials, not the millennials. Millennials we did some, but with the I generations, people with the smartphones. As long as we ask questions like, do you like use mobile phone, okay, in class? No. But they believe, they trust the machine better, more than teachers. When they go home, probably, do you think it is good for assessing your English spoken skills? Yes. But using those machines in class, no. They have a negative meaning as long as it's in class. So don't use it in class. I'm saying is if you use it outside the class, make them use it. That was we did a lot of experiments. One of the experiments we did was communication skills. If you speak to the machine, that was attitude studies, and another one is machine interpretability. A lot of Korean students asked to speak to the machine, say like the word sentences, telling sentences, what kind of words, like phonological features, the machine do not understand. So when I'm talking to my Siri, and he understands me, but some of the words couldn't understand. Can you repeat that again? Sort of. Students they are willing to speak to the machine easily. So ask them to study with it. We did that test that. Thank you. That was the timer. I set the timer at the beginning. They wouldn't mind. So we did an experiment. Okay, I'm going back. Okay, so the timer was disrupting. Okay, somebody go. Using apps. But this is what I'm saying. The students, when you go traveling, do you go without your mobile phone? No, yes, you go. You have a private tutor, you have private tour guides, you have everything there. So it's as if you're private secretary, private butler. That's why I was using the sentence that it's a butler's story, the remains of the day, but actually the story is different. But whatever you do, when you are using for the testing, student being negative, or assessing is negative, but codes, computer aided, all those things, they are not actually developing students, the learners, communication skills. They are trying to assess the students, how many times they have accessed it, how many words they have typed it. But the AI normally don't give you the data for that, but ask them to play with it, make sure they give them more opportunity to communicate. So the machine is developing far now, so we are at the stage of like we are in the generation we have to communicate with the machines all the time. Terminators, it's soon, people were talking about it, but still we can, with the English education is concerned, speaking skills. Speaking with the machine, they can improve. Why I'm saying is, by make students to practice. We did the test, asked students to practice with machines, so reading like the mobile app, using the mobile app, automatic. How do you say? Do you use the mobile, I use a Siri or the Google search engines, and you can ask. So the sentence typing, now just Windows 10 actually reading out for you. So actually if you're practicing speaking to the machine, you're improving your listening skills. We did a test, the students asked the students to read and speak to the machine, and those vocabularies, they improve later, the listening skills. So the communication basic, fundamental basic skills of the speaking and the listening skills improves with the mobile phone. So that's a positive effect. If you use it properly, but don't use it, if you use it in like for the writings or never, they will just completely cheat you. So, if you use the machine properly, then absolutely the positive effects in facilitating attitude. I was going at the beginning, the readings, writing with a very, very bad word. Now I'm saying it's good. The students, you play with it. If you set your mobile phone into English and using the Hey Siri in English ways, and your speaking skill will improve because you don't have private teacher, but you do have it now. Sometimes I talk to my Harry series, how are you? I feel like, and this morning I was asking the weather, and at 4 in the morning I woke up and I don't know what to do with it, and I was talking to my Siri. So that's, because I set because for the educational purpose, and I set my iPhone in English. So I had to speak to him, the English voices. The students, they are happy to do that. Do you like to do that or not? Yes? No? Yes, thank you. Or by your calculator. But you have communicated with me. So exactly what happens was facilitating effects. The research, if I'm talking about, is how I do the research, and those would be boring. But it's basically like that. Ask the student to sit with the reading with their Korean voices. So if you are interested in what kind of the phonological features that machine do not get it, the Korean accent in English, and ask Jung, Professor Dr. Jung, she's an expert, and they're using the machines, and they improve anyhow. So that's the best result we got, and we go the facilitating. The positive effects and machine intelligibility things, machine and communicating, and if you use it properly, the student can definitely improve. So I've been speaking in A2, English Spoken Communication Skills Development. CSD, Communication Skills Development. Okay, I have given you one abbreviation, CSD. No, don't go with that. I'm going to go with the, okay, I'm going to change my case at the Siri or the Alexa. What kind of the search engine do you use? Can you, Korean students? I don't teach Korean, so. Neighbor, they have a neighbor. Do you speak to neighbor? No? Okay, I should learn more about it. Or Kakao, do you use the microphone, the dictation systems? I'll try to get a lot of information, but nobody's saying to me now. Okay, very quiet. I know you guys speak very good English, but you're just being quiet, meaning I've been speaking like machine gun, so probably. So spoken as long as the spoken communication is concerned, mobile devices to use it properly, then you get a positive feedback. But the teachers be aware, always, not teachers oriented, student oriented would be better than teacher oriented. A lot of the COLT program is basically COLT, especially for the assessing students, giving them a private tutor. That's what I'm saying to you. Pronunciation is it. If you properly incorporate it, we get a positive effect. The other implications, so many things, but it's skills based. The reading and writing is supposed to be separately. But on the side, thinking skills. The higher thinking skills. That's always not only English education. If you are English teachers, higher thinking skills be most important. So that was a reference, and that's Jung. She was doing a lot of experiments. And we went to IAWE. We're going to the island. Nobody's from Ireland? Okay. So that's down here. And if you have any questions and about Korean, she's an expert on the Korean machine intelligibility and the listening and spoken skill developments. And I'm doing with that was a coffee shop I left. Okay, I'm trying to finish my, okay, so how many generations did I talk about? Students. Hello, you're there, pink. Huh? How many generations? You don't remember?
4 generations?
Who said 4 generations?
I did.
Who? 5 million. Who said 4 generations? Tell me. Baby boomers. Millennials.
Next generation.
Great generations. And I generations. We are the probably great generations. Generation X. Baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, I generations. So when you are teaching, who you are, thinking about the students bridging the gap. Thank you very much.
Well, what can I say? Your presenting style is very, very exciting, and I'm sure everybody here enjoyed it very much. Now, time for some questions. Any questions? Yeah, probably you gave us such a fine lecture, maybe they don't have any question to ask. But I have one question for you, because I'm not going to let you go. Look, I have a problem using mobile devices. And the way I see it, I'm sure mobile devices are good for us. And it actually helps us, learning second language, and it's great, stuff for second language acquisition. But the problem is I don't know how to view them. I don't know how to use that. Now you are saying that mobile devices will certainly help us a lot. But for some people like us, myself, I don't even know how to use it, and how can that help me? The mobile device. So wouldn't we need some sort of teaching for us to learn how to view the mobile applications?
That was.
That's big.
No. If I speak like this, everybody will stay awake.
That's right.
Do you consider yourself an educator?
Well, yes. I guess I am.
So that's what I'm saying is, when we're teaching, it's not teaching. It's teaching how to study. Students learn. You have to, it's in a way, the educators, what I'm saying is educators, we were born in the millennials or X generation, baby boomers. If you're teaching students, we have to teach ourselves first. Strange way. Meaning, the people who develop the platforms are separated from the teachers. That's why the computer-aided learning system almost failed.
That's right.
Because they don't educate teachers much. But mobile app is, you don't need to teach yourself. You know how to use your Kakao.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
That's all you need.
That's not true.
No?
Doctor, you're from Canada, right? Who is from Canada here? I've got strong objections about this because
No,
Canada,
this is really good.
Yeah, Canada and Australia and Singapore, they adopted two more functions, right? Viewing and visual representing in their curriculum. Isn't that correct?
I don't know, I don't live in Canada.
Oh. You in the US?
Reading, writing, listening, speaking, viewing.
That's right. We are looking at 6 functions now.
Yes.
4 functions not anymore because of digitalized era. Maybe you should explain why we need to learn viewing. That's what I need to learn as an educator.
She's the keynote.
No. That's why I'm so communicative presentation. So we can, I can get an information from you.
Yeah, so viewing
can learn from you as well.
Especially in a multimodal world that we live in, viewing is equally important to all of the other modes of communication. So as you bring up emojis, memes, different things that we both consume and produce, it becomes a part of our meaning making and how we view the world. How we view the world. So that's why viewing is one of the 6 modes of communication, 6 modes of literacy, if you look at it that way. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, the thing is, I want to be able to learn myself how to use this KakaoTalk stuff and mobile applications, especially for our generation. It is true, and you are expecting everyone to learn how to use it, ourselves. But I got this nice feeling that we must have some sort of education program teaching us how to use these mobile applications. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, it's the same thing. When old days, when the baby boomers were teaching English, they were not able to speak English, but they're teaching English. No? Don't you feel like, a lot of, in Japan especially, I should say Japan, in Korean, probably Korean started English education far earlier than Japan. And a lot of Japanese teachers were not able to communicate orally, and the written communication there is really good, but it's oral communication, they were not. So they're supposed to be educated. I mean, if you're going to teach English lessons, English language, you're not teaching culture or English literature, but if you are able to, then they should have taught themselves first before they become English teachers. That's my idea. So if you are teaching English language to the students, so that your communication skills, communicative in English schools, you should be able to use those, not only the tools, but the students who buy the mobile phone, do they have educations before they buy that machines? No. That's what the AI means. So what the platform they developed, the American way, so that's why I'm separating all the visual effects actually. It's kind of impeding students' real communication and the oral, I'm saying verbal communication skills. The image is actually giving the students or stopping, thinking about it. When you listen to, or if you're reading a novel, you have your own image, like Harry Potter's. And if you read the books, and their thinking skill develops by reading, even the speaking as well. But by showing the one video clip short, they are not using anymore, because I'm a second language acquisition studies. When the students are activating the language faculty, meaning without picture, it's more activated. If you show the picture, they stop. Like when you teach, there is one study, it's about you watching TV, like movies, without any sounds, you can understand about 70% what is going on. So the communication skill is not developing. They're non-verbal, the imaging skill, they are not thinking. They're just looking at it. They feel as if they understand everything. So that's where first thing, the question you say, you have the teachers know, but it's a mobile app. You don't need to learn much. Yes?
So I made this section very exciting, right? Didn't I?
You did.
Thank you. I'm enjoying a lot. So, just one thing, because when we also adopted viewing as a sixth skill, in fact, we gave a different reason. For us, the idea was that both speaking and reading, or listening and writing happens in time. No, it needs time. It's mathematically continue in the sense that it's a segment. You start here until I finish, you want to know what I'm going to say. Viewing doesn't happen like that. You have it holistically. So, if you are learning a language and you have an image, and the image just prompts what you need, which is an instant meaning, you won't process later. That's what she says, then you stop thinking. But that's not really the case. We really need to be trained to see visually, because if I ask you what you see in this picture, you'll try to think what I'm asking, really. And you'll say, the presenter. Well, maybe he will say, a library or a restaurant. Or maybe I will say, what I see is the empty chair, which probably is the one taking the picture. So I was asking, who is missing there? The idea is that my visual perception holistic, when transferred in a different code, either writing or speaking, needs time to develop. And you need to explain, maybe from right to left or left to right, according to your culture, maybe from the instant image according to the situation, maybe to whatever. That's the training we need to do. So, interesting. Thank you.
As a teacher who doesn't feel
I'd be happy
comfortable, as a teacher who doesn't feel comfortable with the mobile stuff, that's not a problem because you don't have to do anything. It's the student that does everything. You just have to upload the assignment. You just have to go to your LMS, set up the forum, and say, go. That's what you do. And then, okay, you have to grade it. Then you're done. So I would just start with that, and then you can learn more stuff.
I'm sorry, we are running out of time. So can we discuss this over lunch? Look, you know what, Dr. Bong, why didn't you say that, in the first place? Then we wouldn't have this serious discussion here. But wasn't this discussion exciting? Now, please give a round of applause for Dr. Bong.
Thank you very much. Thank you, millennials. Thank you.
Look, we will have a nice lunch, and we can discuss this a little further, over lunch. Okay? Okay, everyone, have a nice lunch.